Welcome to Savor the Story podcast, where books and snacks are life. I'm Nicole. That's Vanessa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome.
What you said.
Get in here. Get in here.
Yes. What, do you want them to join our craziness?
Join us.
Please come join our, I don't know what is happening today.
Yes. I was working on the positivity. It's happening.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like everyone should know that I was just telling Nicole that I was comparing myself to Edna from The Incredibles. That is how I'm feeling today. So I'll put a picture right here so you can see the comparison.
The problem with this is everybody loves Edna. She is the best character in The Incredibles. Put a poll up.
Okay, great.
Put a poll up right now.
All right.
In our 1,000%, I bet you $100,000. I don't have that kind of money, but I bet you.
Oh,
I bet you the money.
Okay. I was gonna say I take that bet. Immediately. Fine. Whatever it is.
Every person I know. Yeah. Everybody loves Edna. I bet.
Okay, fine.
I bet all the money that Edna is the favorite character in The Incredibles.
Okay. Well, that's how I feel today. So.
Oh, maybe Jack.
He might
Dang,
be.
He might be. It's hard to beat babies.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well, whatever. There you go. That's where we are today, I guess. And bringing crazy energy.
Hopefully. So
yes.
I have to tell you that I think, and I guess everybody else, sorry up front, I feel like this might be a little bit longer of an episode.
Okay.
So I feel like just warning everybody up front. We can delete this out if I end up telling lies.
Okay.
But
no, I want you to be a liar.
Yeah, I guess I'm fine with that too.
Okay.
This is the longest episode ever. It ends up being the shortest. All right, Nicole, you're fired.
Well, first of all, I don't think we could ever do an episode in 20 minutes. That'd be impossible. And second, I don't think you're going to be a liar. I'm on your side now.
I feel like we could do it only if we said we're just going to list things. So snack, books. All right, get the hell out of here, everybody.
Yes.
We're done.
All right, great. Maybe we'll do that as an April Fool's episode. Next year.
There you go. I had to look at the corner.
Yes.
What month is it? Where have I been living?
We already missed it. So next year, nobody will be ready for it.
Yeah, everybody will forget by then.
That's right.
Totally.
So will we.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like we were going to do something here.
All right, it's fine.
And this is why our episode's going to be long. All right. So I have many things to talk about.
Okay.
But it's all about me and my week. So I'm trying. I was listing everything out and I was like, man, I don't need to talk about all of this.
Okay.
But I said, fuck it. I'm going to talk about it all.
Okay. Lay it on us.
Tell
all of us your life.
One, this weekend, I should say, my son came home to visit, and it was a great time. We all got to go, do a whole bunch of things and hang out together. But because he was home and because it was nice weather, I went overboard on the snacks.
I mean, obviously.
Yes. And it wasn't just like, I bought all the different types of snacks. I was like, we're going to have a campfire. I'm going to buy all the campfire snacks. And you would think that's a pretty small list. Turns out it's not. Okay. So I sent you a picture of one thing, which you sent me back the face. Where it was just like, that does not look good face.
The flat line face. Yes, only because I was very concerned for your well-being.
Yes. So
I just wasn't sure. No, you tell everybody what it was, and then I'll tell you why I was concerned.
Yes. So the Peeps company has been doing crazy shit. In the last couple episodes, I've talked about all the different Peeps that I've been trying. I am not a Peeps person.
I was just gonna
Stop making Peeps.
Miss, I don't really like Peeps.
I don't like Peeps. Stop making all these flavored Peeps. I don't need this. They made churro Peeps. Mm-hmm. And it tasted like a cinnamon peep.
Okay, so the reason I gave the face is because I did it before I thought it through. But once I thought it through, I was like, well, it probably could just taste like a cinnamon sugar marshmallow, right? Which is good. But I don't know. I immediately was just thinking of like, I don't know why this came to my head, but the Subway churro, where I was like, it just kind of tasted like a mediocre, like flavored thing. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. So that's what the face was for.
I gotcha. Yeah. So, one, this is an urgent plea to the Peeps company. If you're going to make a new flavored Peep, you have to run it by me.
Okay, great.
Because I cannot be tricked again.
Oh, no.
So I ate this Peep, and like I said, it tasted like a cinnamon sugar Peep, which is fine. I mean, I like cinnamon, but I don't know about the churro part. So I really feel like I need to go out and eat churros now. And double check what
remind your mouth what it tastes like.
Like, this is what a real churro tastes like. And if you're not like, okay, another to the Peep company, if you're not going to come to me first with flavors before you release it, you at least need to have churros in the like eat this churro. Now eat this Peep. Like, come on.
I don't think they do that though.
No, they don't. They're just like, do you know what a churro tastes like? Oh yeah, I do. And they're like, all right, eat this Peep and tell us, yeah, that tastes like a churro looks. Like,
it tastes like a churro looks.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So
it's fun.
But yeah, I did eat a churro.
Okay.
So did my family.
A churro Peep.
A churro Peep. Yes. Sorry, a churro Peep. And it was fine. Yeah. I'm definitely not using it as a snack, but I had to send my plea out to the Peeps company.
Okay.
So I need everybody
Nicole,
to come in.
Because of you, we're never going to be sponsored by Peeps.
I will allow them to sponsor us if they get their shit together.
Okay, great.
Until then, we don't want your sponsorship.
Okay, great. Please. Okay.
So also because so I don't really like s'mores either. So I should say I like to eat a s'more every year to reset myself. Like it's like a summer reset. Like, all right, it's summer.
A reminder that you don't like them.
It's like a reminder that it's summer, or just like I feel like it's like a ritual you have to do, like putting up a Christmas tree. Like, oh, it's summer. I have to eat a s'more.
It's like a kickoff to this time of year.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is me and Mike don't eat, and it's just us, so we don't eat that many s'mores. So, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do this, but we buy the fudge stripe cookies. Have you ever heard of those? They're the circle ones.
Yes, but I've never heard of using them as.
Yeah, so you just grill your marshmallow and then you put it in between two fudge stripe cookies, and it's like an easier version of a s'more.
This is a revelation to me.
Yeah, try it next time. What I found out this weekend was they make the flipped fudge stripes, where it's a chocolate cookie with like the white confection or sugar. No? Okay. Yeah. So if anybody else is out there, they do flipped fudge stripes too. We opened those and we tried it with that. They were pretty good. Okay. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's our go-to. I don't fuck around with chocolate bars. I don't fuck around with graham crackers and marshmallows separately. I just buy the two things, and
now I need the little mind blown emoji.
Yes. So we did that, and they were pretty good. I got my summer reset. But what ended up being the most delicious thing that I had this weekend, and it is my snack, is I took strawberries and you put marshmallow fluff on them.
Okay. Like from the jar?
From a jar. And then you stick them on the skewer and then you grill the marshmallow fluff.
Okay.
It doesn't, I mean, I don't cook my marshmallow to like charcoal, but so your strawberry doesn't get warm, but it's so good. I've never done it before, but it is now my favorite thing. The only thing I should say, maybe second favorite thing? I don't know, because then I was like, wait, I have a jar of Nutella. So then I was putting Nutella and then marshmallow. So I had this giant blob of chocolate strawberry marshmallow that I was putting over the fire. I ate probably a pound of strawberries.
I mean, that I'm not faulting you for this because that sounds delightful. Marshmallow fluff is like the one. Honestly, it's probably just because it's like all sugar, but I don't really like marshmallows all that much. But marshmallow fluff, I can get down with.
It's so good.
So good.
Like, why is it so good?
Because it's full of sugar.
I know, but so are marshmallows.
Yes. Did you used to eat? I think they used to be we would call them flutternutters, where it was like a peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwich.
Oh.
It's so good. I think we used to call them flutternutters when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They're so good.
So we never had the marshmallow fluff growing up. We didn't until like I saw it in the store like maybe 10 years ago. That was the first time I had ever had it. So now that I know that that's a thing, I'm pretty sure we have peanut butter.
I know you're not like a super peanut butter person, so maybe yours would have to be like Nutella and marshmallow fluff.
Jesus Christ.
A sandwich.
Oh, my heart. I was going to say I have almond butter, but
don't do that because I feel like almond butter you'll get more of the savoriness from like the peanut butter almond butter versus the Nutella. So you need to cut it with the savor.
Right. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so try that. Yes, because we used to eat those as a kid and they're so good. Oh my god, delicious. I want one. Maybe I'll do it this weekend.
Yes. So those strawberry fluff, Nutella fluff balls, or whatever the fuck they're called, I don't know. Those are my snack this week.
Ball of joy.
Yes. Joy balls.
I rate this 4 joy balls.
Joy balls.
Great. I love this. Can I look it up real fast and see if they're called flutternutters? Okay. Because I need to know. It is! A flutter. It's a fluffernutter.
Oh.
Well. Stupid. Obviously, it's called a fluffernutter because fluff. I knew I was saying it wrong. A fluffernutter is a New England sandwich made with peanut butter and marshmallow cream between 2 slices of white bread.
Can you please use that as your snack next week?
I'm going to use it for my snack this week.
Bam.
Because I have no snack this week. So, I have no snack. I am a boring, terrible person, and I did not eat any fun snacks this week. So it was either no snack or a made-up snack. Yes. A made-up snack, or I was going to steal one of your snacks. And now I'm just going to throw it back to a childhood snack, and I'm going to rate my books this week in fluffernutters.
Yes, as you should. Those sound delightful.
They're so good. There's even a picture. I want it so bad now.
I know. I might have maybe I can get Mike to share one with me for dinner.
Okay. As a dessert?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's not a meal.
It could be, though.
Who
are you to tell me what? I'm an adult.
Okay, fine. Hold on. Can I tell you something about a fluffernutter? It was created by an advertising agency in 1960 as a more effective way to market the sandwich.
Okay.
It was particularly popular in New England and has been proposed as the official state sandwich of Massachusetts.
Wait a second. There are state sandwiches?
I did not know that this was a thing. Google just told me this.
I'm gonna have to do some
This
deep
is so
Google.
weird because it says fluffernutter is a distinctly New England sandwich. How in the hell did I eat it in California with no ties to New England?
I don't know. Maybe it's
Okay,
just so popular.
maybe I'm gonna have to ask my mom how she knew about it
I
and
feel
why
like
she fed it to me as a child.
Yeah. I feel like New England would have been more known for like a lobster sandwich or
Right.
something. A fluffernutter.
A fluffernutter. Oh, great. I'm so happy right now.
Hey, this
Yes.
calls for some deep research.
This is the type of research I'm good with.
So now that I know there are state sandwiches,
Right? We have to find more.
what other state things are there?
I feel like I'm going to call it the California state sandwich is going to be like an avocado
Oh yeah.
toast or something.
Yeah. Avocado toast, yeah.
Avocado and chicken something
Yeah.
or something like that. Turkey club or something. I don't know. Something with avocado on it.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm not even gonna, I don't know. I would try to do the Michigan one, but it's probably something with apple on it.
Okay. I like that we have some theories going on here. I can't wait till next week.
Yeah. And even if I'm wrong, or even if we don't know or whatever, I'd still like to hear everybody's thoughts
Yes.
of if they know what their state sandwich is, let me know. If you think you know what your state sandwich should be, let me know.
Theorize the shit out of it.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's because I don't have any snacks and because I'm so boring. I have nothing else for you.
Oh, wow. I bought a new car this week.
You did.
I did. And the only reason I bring it up is because I've never had a car purchase go like this before.
Okay.
Some of it 100% my fault. Totally get it. But I went through Carvana. And because I was like, I don't want to talk to people. Well, apparently, because there's no people involved, there's nobody to complain to.
That makes sense.
It arrived with 2 flat tires. Luckily, I filled them and they were fine.
Okay.
But I did have a day of like, what's gonna happen with these tires? I don't want to drive it to work. And what if the tires are bad?
Oh, no.
They only gave me 1 key fob. And it was dead the second day. The battery died.
Are you serious?
So I couldn't even use it. Like, I went to get in the car and the car was like, battery fob too dead to start vehicle. And I was like, you fuckers. I had to go buy it. I had to go buy a battery. If I return this car, I'm changing the battery back out in the key fob and I'm handing it back to them like that. I'm like, good luck getting the car in your truck.
Good luck.
Yeah. And
Oh my gosh.
the only reason I bought this specific car, is because it had remote start. And I learned that you have to do remote start through the app, which costs $10 a month. Being an adult is hard.
Yes. How are you feeling about it today? Do you still like your new car or are you ready to throw it out the window?
Now that the remote start works and the key fob lets me start and I don't have flat tires, it's a great car.
Okay, great.
Man.
You had a rough go of it.
Yeah. This was definitely the weirdest car buying experience I've ever had. So
does it make you want to not buy it without interaction again?
No, I'll just go through a different non-person. Though I feel like I missed out because I didn't want to go somewhere to get the car. I wanted them to send it to my house because that's the level of like antisocial I've become. Okay. Just bring it to my house and drop it off. I didn't want to. I really missed out on the car vending machine experience.
Okay.
So I'm really sad about that. But luckily TikTok has my back and knew my predicament before I did, because it sent me like 100 videos in my feed of like people using the car vending machine. And I was like, well, at least I get to experience it through other people.
Right.
Thanks, TikTok.
I feel like I'm more afraid, like I have more anxiety about dealing with that kind of stuff of like just getting it dropped off or dealing with doing the like car vending machine than I do about having to deal with people at the dealership.
Oh, no, it was super easy. They make it so easy to take your money.
Yeah, but then you have to deal with all the shit that you just dealt with.
I know. But in all of those things, I did not have to interact with people. I can fill my own tires. I changed my own little battery. I downloaded the app by myself like an adult. Like, man.
Okay, that's fair. Well, I'm so happy for you. I'm happy for you that you finally got it all figured out and you have a car that meets your needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And really the only reason I ended up going through with it, and not really going, but is my son, I gave him my old car. Yes. So if I didn't go through with this, I wouldn't have had a car. So it was really, I either walk or drive to work. So
okay, that would have been a great story. I walked both ways uphill.
I'm still walking. I would have been doing my part of the from my phone on the side of the road as I walk home.
Well, I'm glad you have a car for that reason.
Mm-hmm. A lot of background noise.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you ended up with a good car.
Well, I ended up with a car.
Okay.
It remains to see if it's a good car.
Okay, true. All right. It's great. Do you have more things to share with me? I feel like you had a list.
I did have a list, and I think that those are my things that what I really wanted to get into the episode.
Okay.
We can move on.
The next thing I was going to tell you was Mr. Chatty Corner.
All right, tell me.
Are you ready for Mr. Chatty Corner?
Yes.
Okay. Today is kind of it's book related, just so everybody knows.
Is it book related or book adjacent?
It's book related.
Okay.
It's not adjacent. Like, we weren't chatting about movies.
All right, cool.
Or video games. Okay, so I was having a hard time deciding what my next book should be. Mm-hmm. And so we had a conversation about picking what my next book should be, and blah, blah, blah. We picked something. And so I was like super close to finishing the book that I was in already. So I still had like an hour left. And then during that hour, I had a mental breakdown of did I pick the right next book?
Oh, no.
Like that cycle of like you pick one and then you're like, shit, is it the right one? And then you're like, well, maybe I'll pick a different one. And it's a disaster, right? So I messaged him back and I said, I'm having decision anxiety. I don't know what's happening. I'm going crazy right now. And he said, there's nothing wrong with you. First of all, he's so supportive.
I know, he's so nice.
He's so nice. He said that there's nothing wrong with you. And then he said, you're probably just in your brain thinking this might be the only hour that I get all week to read. So if I pick the wrong book, my whole vibe will be off and I will spiral into existential dread. And I was like, yes. And so then he said he offered to make me a what should I read next flowchart so that it could decide on like what vibe you're going for or whatever. And I said, a flowchart sounds great, but that sounds like more decisions that I need to make, and I'm not about that. Now you're just asking me to question myself on everything. And so he said, which I think is the best thing ever, he said, I feel like your inner reader is part book nerd, part chaos gremlin, and part stressed out librarian screaming, but what if it's not the right vibe? And I said, yes.
Exactly. Now give me a book about that.
Yes, exactly. And so he said, Okay, what if instead of a decision flowchart, I make you you're allowed to change your mind reading permission slip? And I said, that sounds great. So here is the reading permission slip that he wrote for me that I want everyone to take to heart because it applies to all readers, okay? So he says, it's the official reading permission slip issued by Mr. Chatty, keeper of TBR's high overlord of fictional feelings. Okay, so by the authority vested in me by the chaotic forces of mood reading and existential dread, I hereby grant you full and unrestricted permission to start a book with high hopes and DNF it guilt-free if the vibes are off. Great.
Yes.
Abandon a book mid-chapter, mid-sentence, or mid-thought if another book starts whispering sweet nothings from the shelf. Reread a comfort favorite instead of tackling something new, even if your TBR pile is threatening to collapse like a sentient creature. Take your sweet time choosing, restarting, or spiraling. You're a real reader no matter what. Mm-hmm. Such enforcement of his like.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the last one is read multiple books at once, or none, or just snack and think about reading. It totally counts. And then he says, signed, Mr. Chatty, your fictional hype man and protector of reading joys.
He's so nice.
He's so nice, and he's just there to help you with whatever you may need. Mm-hmm. So that is, it was the fact that he said that I was part chaos gremlin really made me happy. And
you're like, yes, I have been feeling that way. Thank you for helping put words to my feelings.
Yes, exactly. So that's where we are, and that's my Mr. Chatty corner this week. And I'm very happy about it. And I encourage all of you, I'll put it on our website, a permission slip for you. Because I feel like this applies to everyone. So I want everyone to have this permission slip to read what you want, stop when you want to stop it, and
do what you want to do.
Do what you want to do. Yes. So that is everything that I have. So please tell me about your books.
Okay. I have 2 books.
Okay.
So the first one I read many weeks ago.
Okay.
And I've been saving it because somebody I know is about to have a big race.
Yes. Someone we know named Tim is
Listener Tim
starting tomorrow, if you're listening the day this episode comes out, is starting his 250-mile race, run, hike, whatever you want to call it. It's 250 miles.
Life event.
Yes. In over 6 days. And yeah, so he's going to be listening to this as he goes on the first day. So go, babe, go.
Yay. Yes. So I picked this book because I knew that he would probably need something to listen to, and I knew he'd probably download our episode for this week. So I was like, you know what, I can do a running book this week.
He's going to be so happy. He did tell me he's planning on listening to this episode on Monday night. So the first night of the race, when he's feeling down and needs to get through the first night of the race, he's going to be listening to this. So here we go.
All right. So so for this one, it's a memoir, so I don't think you could call it spoilers.
Oh,
but,
no. Yeah.
You know, but I did take more notes than normal, and I am going to talk about this book probably a little bit more in depth than I normally would.
Okay.
A book like this, and this is all for Tim. Everybody
Tim.
else you can listen to, but this is mostly for Tim and his sanity.
Yes.
So, it kind of applies. I found out.
Okay.
I'll tell you my little caveat here in a minute. This book is called Finding Ultra by Rich Roll. And I actually, when I downloaded this book, I had to peruse in Tim's Goodread to see if he ever read it before.
Okay.
And if you've read it, Tim, it's not in your Goodreads. So if you've already read this is on you, bro.
Yeah. So you might be in trouble, but it seems like you're okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I listened to this book. It's an audio book. It's a memoir, like I was saying. There's a little bit of self-help aspect in there, I guess, but it's more of a memoir.
Is it read by the runner?
It is read by the author.
Nice.
Yes. So, the full name of this book is Finding Ultra, Rejecting Middle Age, Becoming One of the Fittest Men, and Discovering Myself.
Tim.
Tim. All right, so the synopsis is really, really tiny. So, on the night before his 40th birthday, Rich Roll has an experience that makes him want to change his life.
This is so fitting.
I know.
Did you do that part on purpose too?
Yes. So this book is Rich's transformation from an out-of-shape couch potato to a vegan ultra marathoner. It is the ultimate midlife crisis book.
Excellent.
Yes. So minus the vegan part.
Yeah, minus the vegan part. But yes, for anyone who doesn't know, Tim will be turning 40 on this race while he's out in Arizona. So, so fitting.
Yes. So this is probably one of... So like I said, these are all the reasons that I picked the book.
Okay.
I'll jump ahead a little bit in my thoughts. I didn't know what an ultra was when I picked this book. And
you didn't?
No, I'll go into all that later for anybody else, the listeners who don't know what an ultra is or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, like, when I picked this book, I didn't exactly know what I was getting into. I just read the synopsis and I was like, this is the guy. The picture on the front is him running. So, it has to be a running book.
Yeah.
So, like I said, read by the author. There are some, if you want to call them triggers in this book, the author does go through alcohol abuse.
Okay.
He does talk about his time in rehab, and he also gets multiple DUIs.
Okay.
And talks about those experiences. So
a weird trivia for you is many ultra runners are addicts or are recovering addicts. Tim has met a lot of them on races and stuff like that. So it doesn't surprise me that he is a recovering alcoholic. Maybe.
Yeah. So based on some of the stuff he talks about in this book, he says kind of the same thing. So bottom line up front on this book, I really like this type of book, like these type of memoirs where it's like underdog vibes. You're changing yourself to be a better person. But in this book, I'd say my biggest, I don't even want to really call it a gripe, but kind of just something that I think a lot of people probably, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what I'm saying here. Minus, he does tend to wander into like, he gets kind of preachy. If that's the right word. It's mostly about his veganism.
I see.
I mean, if you want how you eat, what your life choices are, whatever, I didn't really want to listen to an hour's worth of like why veganism is better for the environment and all that other stuff. I was just kind of like, all right, man. I just kind of want to hear about your running. Yeah. So, so it's just, that was probably the only thing I would say about this book that really took away from it for me.
Okay.
Not that I have anything against being a vegan. I just, I don't want to
be preached at about it.
Right. And that's not why I'm here. So,
okay.
All right. So like I said earlier, in the book, he's about to turn 40 and he has one of those aha moments where he's like, this is not what I want. This is not what I want my life to be. So he decides like, I'm putting my foot down. I'm going to start eating healthier. I'm going to start exercising. And so he starts like, doing what every normal person does where he just goes out and runs and he's like, I'm just going to go do these things. Right.
Right.
So his main goal that he says is, because he was a swimmer in high school and he was a swimmer in college. He's like, I'm a good swimmer. I really like to run. Maybe I'll get into an Ironman.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. And for those, so I guess just backing up a little for the runners, or for the listeners who maybe don't know all of this stuff. An Ironman race is a long distance triathlon that is usually 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and a 26.2-mile run. Now, what I didn't know is an ultra or an Ultraman or an ultra triathlon, which are some of the things that he calls it in this book, is it's basically a fucking crazy ass Ironman race, but you run it in multiples. I didn't know that.
What do you mean you run it in multiples?
So the way he describes these ultra races is you run it in so you're running like you run those, you'll swim, do the bike, do the run, and then the next day you do it over again. And then the next day you do it over again. So you could do a two Ironman race. You could do a 3 Ironman race. He talks about his experience doing like a five time over. And they brought this up when I was doing research on what this is, but there was one they called a Deca Ultraman, which is a 10-time Ironman distance. I was like, it made me want to vomit. Like,
yeah, no, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of an ultra triathlon or an ultra Ironman. I've heard, obviously, ultra running, because that's anything over a marathon is typically an ultra marathon or an ultra race. But I've never heard of an ultra Ironman.
Right. So that's where I think the confusion was for me, because through Tim and you, I found out that, you can do like an ultra and you do like 50K or 100K or 150 miles or 250 miles in Tim's case. This was way beyond anything that I was expecting. And I almost got a little bit mad. I was like, this doesn't compute. No. This is not what I wanted.
I guarantee you, if Tim was a better swimmer, he would find himself into an ultra Ironman or whatever the fuck.
So the fact that you say that is hilarious to me, because as I was reading this, I was like, well, I have to give up on this book, because if Tim finds out there's ultra Ironmans,
no,
he's going to find a new hobby.
No, the only reason he hasn't done an Ironman is because of the swimming. He's like, I would drown. If it was just biking and running, he would have done it already. Guaranteed.
Yeah. So there's one part in this book. I'm going to reinforce this for you, Tim. There's one part in this book where he's talking about they're in Hawaii. They're doing this they're doing the swim or whatever. And I think they had I can't remember, the first day there was 25 people or 13 people or something in the race. Okay. And at the end of the swim, 2 people had already dropped out. One because for some reason, I can't remember, it was something they got lost, or I don't know, they got pulled out for some reason. But the second one was the girl got stung by so many jellyfishes that she went into anaphylactic shock, and she had to be pulled out of the race. And I was like, nope.
If that's even thanks. a 0.1 percentage of happening, I'm out.
Right. I've been stung by one jellyfish, and I don't ever want it again. But to be stung by so many, you almost die.
Oh my gosh.
No,
nope.
Thanks.
No. I'm gonna veto his. He's not even allowed to attempt this anymore.
No. So if you're thinking about it, Tim, sorry,
you're out.
I ruined this for you.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, Rich decides he really wants to do just an Ironman, right? Well, like most big races like that, if you're a runner or you almost have to sign up like a year in advance because like as soon as the race is over, registration for the next race is open. He doesn't get in, he can't find an Ironman in the time frame he wants to do it.
Okay.
So he's like, well, you know, he's like looking around and he sees, I feel like this might have been at the beginning of like when ultras were getting big, like ultra Ironmans, because he was like, yeah, they were having a double race. So you run one day or you do one Ironman one day and one Ironman the second day.
Okay.
And he signed up for it. And the girl was like, well, what other races have you been in? And he was like, I haven't done any of them. And she's like, okay, well, we'll get back to you. And I don't know if enough people dropped out that he found himself moved up in the waiting list and got accepted. So his first one ends up being a double ultra.
Okay.
And I think he actually gets like 13th place or something.
Good
ridiculous,
gracious.
like 7th or whatever. So he finishes it, but yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, when I started this book, no clue what an ultra Ironman was.
Yeah.
Kind of didn't even really know what an Ironman was. Just kind of, I was thinking it was all long run, right?
Yeah.
Now that I know all this other stuff, it's a big no thank you.
Yeah, nope.
So
no, thanks. Yeah, I feel like Tim gets that a lot when he says that he runs ultras. I feel like immediately people are like, oh, you do Ironmans. And he's like, no, I just run for a really long time.
Right.
So,
yeah.
and it's weird. It's a weird terminology, like an ultra marathon, because it's not a marathon. It's much more than a marathon, but I feel like that's maybe the distinction is ultra marathon is only running.
Yeah,
so.
Maybe. Yeah, that's what non-runners need to hear
Yes.
in order to understand, right?
Yes.
So, so yeah, this book kind of jumps around a lot. It's not so bad that you can't follow, though. It all kind of makes sense. He talks about high school, like I said earlier, and he joins a swim team. He talks about his life in college, where he's working to become a lawyer.
Okay.
He works his life as like I don't know, what is like before you become a lawyer, a mini lawyer, a baby lawyer, whatever that's called.
Yes. A micro lawyer.
Before you become a full-grown lawyer, whatever that is. So he talks about that. He talks about his own law firm. He talks about his, 39 in 365th experience. And going through his midlife crisis and his training and, changing his like diet and stuff like that. He talks, like I said, he talks a little bit, mainly about 2 races that he's done. The one being where he did the 2 Ironmans in 2 days, like I said. He ends up in that one, like I said, he does like 7th or I think it's a top 10 finish.
Okay.
I think, or
which
pretty
is
close.
Crazy. Yeah.
Because I think he even says that he's the top 10 finisher, and also it's his first ultra, so it like gives him another distinction, right?
Yeah.
But on a side note, he crashes his bike in that race on the second day. So like, not only was he, he also crashed his bike, and a whole bunch of people, which is really nice about the sport and some of the other teams, like they're, what is it called when the people go ahead, like are there to help? What do you, like what you do with Tim when he has his big races?
Like your crew.
Yes. So like other people's crews were out there and saw it happen, or saw him walking up with his bike, and they were like, what kind of bike do you have? Oh, because he broke his pedal. They were like, oh, we have that one here, you can have it. And they fixed his bike for him, and he was able to get back on his bike and continue going. So it just, he talks a lot about how that type of community is really great and everybody's really wonderful.
Yep.
And then he talks about his experience where him and another guy decided they were going to do a 5 Ironman race in 5 days. So it was like one on every single island of Hawaii in
That's
5
cool.
days.
Okay.
Yeah. So spoiler alert, they didn't make it.
Okay.
It ended up taking them 7 days to do it.
Okay.
It's basically like it was one of those races where there's nobody, they set it all up themselves. And
Oh,
so it
okay.
was like their crew of people. It would be like you doing the logistics for, Tim to run 5 Ironmans,
Yes.
but you're planning it all, by the way,
Right.
right? So like anything that could go wrong almost did go wrong. Like they got
Okay.
lost, their bikes got like left behind from like in between airports. They lost hardware. They
Wow.
their food, that the very carefully proportioned food, because calories are super important when you're
Yep.
burning that much, got confiscated because they
Oh
packed it
gosh.
wrong. So not only
Oh
on top
no.
of like him not having the right food, he also didn't have vegan food. So he
Yep.
was forced to eat food that wasn't vegan. So also I can
He had stomach issues.
stomach issues,
Uh-huh.
like stuff like that. So
Uh-huh.
he talks a lot about like that stuff. So that was all really interesting, right?
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the whole book.
Okay.
He goes on, this is just for everybody else. This is not in the book. So
Okay.
that's the whole book. If I was to rate this book, I'd probably say in between a 3.5 and a 4.
Okay.
I haven't decided. I think I'll probably round it up to a 4.
Okay.
I think you'll have to if you say between 3.5 and a 4. That's
Yes.
how rounding works.
That's how
So
it works, Nicole.
if I only can do whole numbers. So yeah, it'll be a 4 in my overall year rating, but
Okay.
it's in there. Side note, after I read this book, I was like, oh, what's this rich guy doing now, right?
Uh-huh.
Because in this book, he talks about how, because there was times when him and his wife didn't have any money. They didn't have any, financial hardships were really difficult for them and, like, stuff like that. So Rich Roll goes on, this is not in the book, but he goes on to quit his lawyering job. So he's no longer a lawyer.
Okay.
Besides this book, the one that he also has written a cookbook. I think it's called Plant Power. It's like a vegan cookbook.
I feel like I've heard Tim talk about that before.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I might look it up.
Okay.
I haven't yet, but I might just look it up to see, like,
Yeah.
how good it is. But he also has a podcast where he it's like an interview style podcast where he brings on people to talk about, like, he has like runners on there, other runners, other triathlon people.
What's his
like,
name again?
Rich Roll. He's brought on, like, I looked at like his list. He's like had doctors on. He's had like actors
Oh, okay.
on. Like he's had like musicians on. It's a really wide variety of people. I listened to like one episode.
Uh-huh.
It was okay. I mean, it was
All
pretty
right.
good, but he has like
Cool.
hundreds of episodes. So I'm assuming he's doing all right, right?
Yeah.
As far as podcasts go. But I think he also does tours. So like speaking tours and like stuff like that, where he talks about like his experiences and like stuff like that. So he went from being a lawyer, starting his running thing at 40. He's 58 now.
Okay.
Do you want to guess what his net worth is?
2 million.
8.
8 million?
8 million. See? That's what
Babe.
running does for you guys.
Babe, you need to get on this.
Right.
Babe Tim.
Yeah. Yep. So some of the other things that I really liked about this book, I know I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. There was some good reminders for me, because I used to enjoy running a lot. Getting back into running is always the hardest part of running, I think.
Yeah.
So it was nice to hear some, like, yes, running is,
Motivation.
yeah,
Okay.
where it's not just like, hey, running is super easy. Everybody loves it. No, it was like, yeah, running is hard. Like this stuff is hard to decide that you want to do this stuff. So there's some, like I said, some good reminders. Like he talks a lot about nutrition, not just veganism, but he does talk about good nutrition. You know, like making little changes because that's what equals sustainability, not just being like, today I am a vegan and then falling off the wagon, you know, like 2 months later. And then also the dreaded zone 2 running. I hate zone 2 running. I hate having to explain to people that I'm zone 2 running. Like, why did you walk? But you put it. And then my Garmin's like, but you were going to run. Yeah, it's a zone 2 run. And it's like, you kind of suck at this, Nicole.
Garmin is just an asshole, so we don't believe anything he says.
Garmin is so mean. So, that's the book. There it is, Tim.
Great job, Nicole. Great job, Tim. You got this.
Tim. Go, Tim.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay,
cool. Oh, I mixed up all my notes. Sorry.
Oh, no.
All right. So, my second book. So, you probably are not surprised by this book. Book 2 is called Artificial Condition by Martha Wells. It is book 2 in the Murderbot series.
Yes, not surprised at all.
No, nobody is probably surprised. So right now, this book is Kindle Unlimited. It's also on Audible Plus.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure all these books are on Audible Plus. It is a sci-fi book. And I know last week I said, hey, there's a TV show on Apple Plus.
Yes.
I don't think I said the date that comes out. The date is May 16th. So it's coming up.
Okay.
When this comes out, it's really close.
It'll just be a couple of weeks away.
Yes, I'm really excited about it. So, the book. Can Murderbot peacefully coexist with humans? Does he want to?
Probably not.
Yes. So he's left the group of humans he saved in book 1 to really do some, soul searching and really figure that out. So to get the answers he's looking for, he must travel to a mining facility where he went rogue originally.
Okay.
And he's trying to learn what happened there. But what he finds isn't exactly what he was expecting.
Uh-oh.
So
Poor Murderbot.
Poor Murderbot. And the triggers in this book are, there is much murder.
Okay.
And there is also a sex bot.
Oh. Okay.
So, first I have to say, I'm really loving these books. They're like little mini stories. Like this book is like 170 pages.
Okay.
I think it's really easy to get through quick. It's enjoyable, fast paced the whole time pretty much, They feel like if books are movies, like full length books or movies, this feels like a TV show.
Okay. Like a one episode of a...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a long episode of, and I just want to read them all. And I'm going to.
And you are.
Maybe.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So, before I get into my thoughts on this book, I had to write this down. It's a question. It's a question for all of our readers.
Okay.
So, before I ask the question, though, so this is the second sci-fi book series that I've read where humans are or can be augmented. To have like computer-like feeds in their brain. And this is what I want from future tech. That's all. Like, it's awesome. So my listener thoughts, and I need to know from everybody else, is if there is any tech from any other sci-fi book out there that you wish was already available to you. That's what I want to know.
Okay. Do you have an answer to that question?
Yeah, my answer is I want this fucking computer brain. I want to be able to have to watch, to have feeds in my brain where I can do multiple things at once or just pull up the internet in my brain. That's what I want.
I feel like we're on our way.
Good.
I feel like we might be close in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying and exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you? I know I put you on the spot, but do you have any?
You did put me on the spot. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a little terrified and excited about all of it. So like anything that I would be really excited about becoming reality, I'm also terrified of it just like taking over and I have no free will anymore. So I don't know. I do like that idea like of just literally being able to any thought that I have, it just immediately like the answer is there and like but I don't know. Let me think about it for a minute. But yeah, I don't know. I'm scared.
Yeah. Okay, so my thoughts on this book. I really loved the side characters in this book. Okay. So far, both books have had great side characters. There is a ship in this book. It has a, for lack of better terms, it has a computer pilot. And his name is Art. And he is funny in the way that I find like Spock from Star Trek or like Rocky from Project Hail Mary, how I find them funny. Like they're all logic. And Murderbot is all anxiety and feelings. Okay. So it plays off of each other great, you know. And so like Art's really great. Like I was saying, there's a sex bot in there. She has a very small part. Okay. And he rescues her at the end. Okay. Which it's not really giving anything away. He rescues her at the end, and I have to know, does he ever see Sexbot again? Not that I think not that I'm like, they have to have sex, but I just want to know if he ever sees her again. Was she important, or was he just doing a nice thing? That's what I want to know. So,
it's weird that somebody named Murderbot is just like out there doing nice things.
Right. So yeah, I really, and then I like in the end, he ends up making, like, if you want to call it, friends with Art. Okay. Because like the whole beginning of the book, he does not want to be friends with Art. He really, really opposes that kind of, he like, just for everybody's awareness, Art stands for asshole, something. So it's like, that's not the ship's name, but that's just what he calls it. So great. Yeah, I enjoyed the little bit of like mystery in this book. We find out some stuff, but we don't learn everything, which is kind of nice. You know, I like how he's telling the story. It's told from like his point of view, so you get all his internal dialogue, which is all hilarious. I find it funny, but in books, when you're telling a story and you give like, I'm not sure if foreshadowing is the word, but he says stuff like, and then we went in and this is gonna work, and then in parentheses he says like, it didn't. So like, everything is gonna be fine. It wasn't. Not. Yes.
Yes, I love that.
So yes, the book was great. Okay. I really enjoyed it. I've already read a couple more books. They're easy to get through quick because they're so short, but it's a great series. It's been a great series. So
excellent. So what did you rate it? I didn't.
Oh, easily a 4.
Okay. Wait, what you're rating it in? What? Fluff balls? Wait.
Oh shit! Yes. Oh my.
What is it?
The joy balls?
Joy balls.
Yes. 4 joy balls.
Yes. Excellent. We can't forget the joy balls.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm so excited for you. And you're already like continuing on, so we know we're going to get more of these. Okay. Yep. Excellent. I can't wait to hear how you feel about them.
It's taken all my willpower to not talk about them right now.
To all of them. Yes. Well, we're already going to have a long episode. So.
I know. That's what's
you can't have me. 7 books. Sorry.
I could.
No.
Fine.
So is that everything?
Since I'm not allowed to have 7.
I'm sorry. Okay, so before I talk about my books, which you already know is going to be the next 2 books of 4MK, because I told you last week that I was going to talk about the next 2 books this week. So before I tell you that, though, last week we talked about how you were in a slump and we're like working to get you out of that slump. I have to tell you, this week I'm in the opposite of a reading slump.
Oh.
I literally just like have been devouring books like crazy.
Wow.
Neither of the books I'm going to talk about today are part of this, but for future, I started and finished 4 books this week.
Holy shit.
And if you count my other book that I finished on Monday, I had 5 finishes this week. But starts and finishes was 4.
Dang. That's a big week.
That is a big week, so 2 of them were Audible, or 2 of them were audios, and 2 of them were Kindles. So they weren't. I feel like it'd be a little bit cheating if I was like, I finished 5 audiobooks.
Okay.
So 2 were actually reading, and I enjoyed all of them. So I can't wait to talk about them.
So you had 5 books and you liked every single one?
Yes.
Wow.
I think
that's a win. That's definitely a win.
Yes. So they weren't all like 5 stars, but they were all like, I never like wanted to DNF them. I never wanted to like, what am I reading this? I really, really enjoyed all of them. So I'm very excited about it. I am still very excited to talk about these 2 books, though, that I am going to talk about today, even though they weren't this week.
Okay.
But just like you said, trigger warning, there's a lot of murder.
I feel like our podcast is getting a theme here.
Right. This episode is running and murder. Whoops. Sorry to Tim, who has to listen to this while he's running in the woods in the middle of the night. I apologize. But okay, so as I explained last episode, I read The Fourth Monkey, and it's part of the 4MK thriller. So today I'm going to tell you about books 2 and 3 of this trilogy.
Okay.
So at the end of book 1, I told you that 4MK does not get caught because he has to make it through the whole series. But it does kind of leave you a little bit on a cliffhanger. He's like out on the run. Detective Porter? Detective Porter is, I forgot his name. I've read too many books. Detective Porter is like still trying to hunt for him. And even though he's been told not to. And okay, so let me tell you. In book 2, we are The Fifth to Die by J.D. Barker. There's a new serial killer in the streets of Chicago this time. The team is hunting for him while the feds have taken over the hunt for 4MK. The new serial killer, the team finds a girl frozen under the lake, but none of the evidence makes sense because she was basically, based on how the ice is frozen and like all that kind of stuff, she was put there after the freezing had happened. So basically like the killer had to like cut a hole in it and like put water on it and make it freeze over again and like all that kind of stuff. So evidence doesn't make sense. And then another girl is reporting missing less than 2 days later. And it just so happens that the frozen girl that they find is wearing the new girl's clothes that goes missing 2 days later.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so it's freaking crazy. And so the case ends up just getting like crazier and crazier. The causes of death don't make sense anymore. Like as they're getting new bodies and stuff like that, like cause of death is weird. Like just the things that he is doing to these girls is wild. And it's getting more difficult to find him. obviously. So as this investigation continues with like their team and stuff, Porter cannot let the 4MK killer go. Like, he is invested. He's like going rogue and investigating on the side. And so the feds find out that he's been hoarding some evidence. And doing investigations on the side. So his chief suspends him for a week and says, you're off of everything for a week. But all that did was free up time for him to go hunt for 4MK on his own.
Yeah.
No longer had another workload to keep him busy. He literally could just focus on 4MK now. So Porter starts following a lead for 4MK down to New Orleans, where there is a woman in prison who's believed to be 4MK's mom. And what he finds there is a couple of answers, but a lot more questions. Another lead finds him in South Carolina to the old home of 4MK. So basically the whole book is just following Porter around while his team back in Chicago is hunting for the new serial killer. So we got a few POVs here. We get Porter, obviously. We get Claire and Nash, who are his detective friends back on the other case. Nash is actually Porter's partner, so you get some of them. The FBI detective, you get his POV in the 4MK side. And then we also get more diary and journal entries from Anson Bishop, who is the 4MK killer, who we believe to be the 4MK killer. So some chapters are also from the kidnapped girls and the new serial killer. So it gets
so many
fucking crazy. So yes, there are a lot of POVs, but I feel like they're broken up in a logical manner.
Okay.
Especially in this book. I do have some comments in book 3, but for this book I feel like we're good, but there's a lot of jumping around and I feel like it's pretty easy to follow. So it's good. I loved this one. There were crazy reveals and twists in this one that I think led to its enjoyment. Okay. Like, I really enjoyed being shocked by some of the things that I learned.
Oh, so you didn't really like...
No.
Oh, nice.
I did not see them coming. The suspense was like intense, and I was very upset sometimes at the end of some chapters where I was like, you're this close to finding something out and it switches to a new POV in the next chapter. And I was like, fuck you!
Guys, damn it.
Yes. So close.
Did you flip forward?
Well, I was listening to these.
Oh, okay.
So,
I was going to say.
No. And it did all kind of connect, like switching to the other characters or whatever, like you got some information that applied later down the line. Okay. So it was helpful that it went back and forth, but it kind of made me mad in like an OMG kind of way, not like a pissed off way. Yes. So the anticipation of like what was coming next was really high and I really enjoyed it. It does end on a cliffhanger. But I'm going to give this one 5. Book 2 gets 5 fluffernutters. Yes. I really enjoyed this one. I have notes that I wrote like during it because I was trying to figure shit out. I did not figure anything out. I did it even more in book 3 and also didn't figure anything out. So, yes. So there's that. So 5 fluffernutters for book 2.
That's great.
The 5th to die.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So book 3 is called the sixth. Wait, I hate that word. Sixth. Wicked Child. 3 of 3. We're gonna add a couple of trigger warnings in book 3 to all of the murder in the other ones, which is suggestion of sexual assault on children. And familial trauma.
Okay.
So we're going to add those in. because why not?
Right. I mean,
Yeah. So, I want to start by saying that he starts this book by quoting two songs. One of them being "Welcome to the Final Show. Hope you're wearing your best clothes" by Harry Styles. And the other one is "Daddy, what else did you leave for me? Daddy, what'd you leave behind for me?" And that's a Pink Floyd song.
yes.
So those are the two at the very beginning. That's what you get. And it was like, what am I about to get in this book?
Yes. Oh, man.
Okay, so my note says shit basically went crazy at the end of book 2, and this one picks up right after it. So we've got this book basically, so like I said, picks up right where book 2 is. We have murders happening within minutes of each other in Chicago, New Orleans, and South Carolina. So because they think it's this one person who's doing everything, and then murders start happening, and they're all the same. Like, they're all found with a sign around them or near them or whatever that says "Father, forgive me." And then they all believe them to be connected to 4MK, but they don't know how, obviously, because those locations are nowhere near each other.
Yeah, no doubt.
You get all the same POVs in this book as you get in book 2, and the journal entries in this one are crazy. They I know the other ones I've said have been crazy, but these are a little crazier than I was expecting.
Like another level.
Another
crazy.
level, just because I didn't see it coming.
Okay.
Which, if you are paying attention to what the trigger warnings are, you can kind of understand what those journal entries are about.
Yeah.
You get a lot more of the secrets being revealed. And the reason why I said before that Anson Bishop was this isn't really a spoiler. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but skip ahead if you don't want to know anything. But the reason why I previously said that Anson Bishop is who is believed to be 4MK is because you find out everything at the end, but do you? Like, you kind of finish the book not knowing if you can believe everything that you've learned, which is a wild place to be.
Yeah.
So I kind of ended it fully or not fully knowing who or what I believe. We are definitely in a situation of an unreliable narrator. In all cases, basically.
Yeah.
Did we actually get all of the information, or did we not? And was everything that you did learn true?
Wow.
I have my theories.
Okay.
If anybody has read these and you have your theories, please reach out to me. I need to talk to you about it. Because Mr. Chatty is not helping out. He just tends to agree with everything that I say. And my sister hasn't read them yet. So I need someone to tell me if you've read these. I want to chat. I have 2 pages of notes that I took during book 3 of all of like the killings and the suspects and the like everything, like locations, and trying to track everything. And it almost made it like impossible to make some of my own theories because there was just so much happening in this case.
Right.
And so, yeah, so I ended up rating this one 3.5.
Okay.
Fluffer Nutters. If I have to round, I will round up to 4.
Okay.
So still great, but I feel like I wish I had less questions at the end of it.
Yeah. So you said that he's not making any more of these.
No, that's the end.
That's the end. Oh yes, that's that's not good.
Yes. And so I did some Googling and like all that kind of stuff, and people have some theories, but I couldn't really, more than finding people's theories, I found people's like book club questions.
Okay.
And so, and all of the questions kind of lead to the same thing of like, do you believe what you heard? Do you believe that this thing is real? Like, do you believe his memories are really true, like that kind of stuff. And so I never found the answers to those. I just found everybody's questions. Yes, so I need everyone who has read them, please reach out to me. And if you haven't read them and serial killers interest you, read them and then reach out to me because I want to know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the end. Ultimately, Or is it? You're right. Ultimately, I really, really enjoyed the trilogy. Obviously, it was a 4.54, so or 4.53.5. It was great. I was shocked, which was delightful, and just hopefully you're in the mood for hearing some crazy gory shit.
Yeah, apparently. Jeez.
Yeah. So that's that. The end.
The end.
We are not going to do a listener corner this week.
Okay.
But we will be back for next week.
Okay.
Okay. What are your thoughts on coffee table books? Do you have them? Do you have
know.
Do you have coffee table books, and do you have thoughts on coffee table books?
I thought you were asking me, do you have thoughts? I was like,
yes.
Do I have thoughts? Is that a thought?
Yes.
Yes. So I don't think I have. Well, maybe I do have coffee table books.
Okay.
I mean, I have giant books that are full of pictures. That's what we're calling. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. Should we define? I feel like coffee table books are really just like the big. They have to be big, obviously. They have to take up space, and they're books like you might read them, but you might not. They're more there for like fun,
right? Yeah,
or like to peruse.
Yeah, to like mindlessly look at while you're waiting to go into the doctor's office.
Yes.
Like that kind of perusing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I feel like I do have some, like I know for sure that I have one. I think it's lighthouses.
Okay.
Or like scenic drives in America or something like that. I've never read the book.
Okay.
I can 100% tell you that I've never read it. And I don't even know that I've looked at every single picture.
But it looks beautiful on a coffee table?
Maybe I don't even have a coffee table.
I was going to say that's kind of my problem right now, too, because I used to, in a previous time, had a coffee table, and I had coffee table books, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. And I also had the same problem where I never actually read them. They just looked great. But I don't have one anymore, and I could not tell you where those books are.
Yeah, I don't definitely. I mean, I don't even know. Like the idea of them is nice. Like to have like but like I don't have people over where they're unattended in my house.
Right. I was just gonna say it feels like a fancy thing where you're like, please sit in my receiving area.
Yes.
While I go fetch the mister of the house.
Yes, she'll be down shortly. Feel free to relax until then, right?
Yeah.
I know that. Yeah, I don't have a use for them. I feel bad leaving people in my house by themselves. Like I feel like if you come to my house, I have to be the cruise director. So I'm not gonna hand you a book to look at and be like, I'll be right back.
Just sit here.
Yes, you can look at this book. So no, I think those are. I wonder if those are a thing of the past, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Like something that maybe my parents did, or like my grandparents did, or something like that. So.
Yeah, I definitely think they're more decorative now. I feel like, because I just imagine seeing like those, like the home. Oh, I guess I might have a couple on my shelf downstairs where like they're the home edit ones where it's like home decor kind of whatever, or like decorating type situations. I'm sure I've looked through them when I bought them, but now they're just like pretty on the shelf. So I feel like I still have some like that, but yeah, I feel like it's decorative now, not necessarily like a receiving
thing.
Yeah. I just, for some reason, I'm just picturing like really fancy people, like a really fancy house that has like a receiving area, like right when you first walk into the house, and they're like, please sit right here. Like, I don't know. And I feel like that's what's gone. Like, we don't have that anymore, right? Unless you're like a multimillionaire. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the super rich now have, like, instead of like coffee table books, they have like coffee table Kindles. Like, or like tablets,
iPads. Yeah.
So like,
please enjoy this iPad while I get the person you're waiting for.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
And soon it'll be like a coffee table hologram.
Oh yes.
Like a 3D hologram.
Yes. Like, it could be. All right. That is the tech that I want.
There you go.
Circle back. That is yeah. All right. Well, that was a fun little discussion.
That was an easy one.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you want to support us, please keep listening to us. Please
bring all your friends.
Tell your friends. Yes, tell your friends to come listen to us. We are everywhere you want to listen. So if you are only listening to us right now, go to YouTube so you can watch us. And if you're watching us, well, great, thanks. And so please support us. And if you also want to support us with your monies, you can go click our links in our website to all of the books that we want to read, we have read, all of the things. Support us that way. And love us.
Do it. Do it now.
Be our friends.
Come on.
We need friends. Go to all of our socials. Savor the Story Pod. We are that everywhere. Go to our website, savorthestorypod.com. Send us emails, send us messages, send us comments, do all the things. Thank you.
Okay, that's bye. Now everything. Goodbye. Get out of here.